While it's true that we may remit a $19 billion plus to the economy, yet what price are we going to pay for that family, which is supposed to be the foundation of society? And as a Christian nation, this is something that I think socio-economic and even theologians may have to deal with, because at what cost?
Deal with is a very kind word. Grapple with.
Yes, grapple with.
Something much more realistic.
And so we are offering, at least for our part, we are offering a solution to that debt service,
Which is
the debt for equity proposal.
Okay.
The debt for equity proposal, by the way, is in line with the United Nations Millennium Development Goals.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I have to admit, which former House Speaker proposed some years ago, but unfortunately it was negated by our past president.
Overtaken by events
Yes,
as well.
yes, and therefore, in fact, Hawaii's U.S. Senator Dan Inouye has already filed a resolution in the Senate on behalf of the Philippines for a debt for equity proposal. Unfortunately, you've got to have the approval of the country's president in order to pursue it. And I would say, hopefully, with President Noynoy's assent to the presidency, Senator Dan Inouye's Senate resolution, and as somebody who worked for Congressman Kendrick Meek, I would be more than happy and glad to pursue a companion House bill in the U.S. House of Representatives, and that is our contribution to helping President Aquino grapple with the enormous debt that we have in this country.
Now, the advantage of that is once you get into the that program on the United Nations through the U.S. as you are proposing, that will not entail any cash outlay on the part of the Philippines.
It's an equity. In other words, $55 billion of our external debt. Half of that will be what we call sweat equity, if we can call it that way. But we have got to make sure that we come up with certain projects approved by the UN, so that at least that money can be directed to helping build our infrastructure, like reforestation, mass housing for the poor, modernization of our agricultural lands, and the building of clinics and hospitals and schools in rural indigenous areas, plus of course, pro-democracy projects. They call it peace, as well as the protection of human rights. And that we can certainly implement. And of course, with the implementation of these programs would come the concomitant employment of thousands of our kababayan, so that instead of having them to go, abroad, they could stay here and help us with the building of our infrastructure projects.
Do you have any estimate or guesstimate as to the number of employment?
I would say that with $1 billion per year funding, because if you we are seeking to come up with a debt for equity to the tune of 20 to 30%, if not 50%, of the $55 billion. So for the it has to be implemented until 2015. Yeah, because that's the year that the UN said, okay, we are going to cut the world's poverty rate, including the Philippines, by 2015. So time is of the essence now here. We've got to come up with a proposal, ASAP, as they say.
Yes.
But of course, with the approval of...
And then come up with the documents.
Correct. Yeah. We have already, I guess, with the spearheaded the initial projects already. And as I've said again, let us take advantage of the euphoria and the ambience of goodwill that that President Aquino's inauguration has created all throughout the world,
Yes.
especially in the United States.
Well,
We cannot miss that.
And this is manifested by the kind of endorsement
Correct.
that the foreign community
Correct.
has given
Correct.
Noi,
Correct.
you know, even before the inauguration.
Correct.
Yeah.
And let's catch that opportunity, because once this opportunity is gone, it's lost.
Mm.
And I hope that President Aquino would and his advisors would listen very intently to this, because this is in the pipeline already.
So, what are the other points in your proposal that?
The other points in the proposal here is the so-called FTA, or the Free Trade Agreement. As you know, we all know we are from Asia. Not too long ago, China was in the doldrums economically. But because it has signed the so-called Free Trade Agreement with the United States, and with it came the so-called Most Favored Nation status, China has now become an economic powerhouse. As a matter of fact, if I may, you go to a Walmart in the United States, you go to Target store, you go to Macy's, and virtually all the goods there
Yes.
are made in China.
Yeah.
And with the goods from products from China coming into the United States duty free, then this so-called FTA agreement has generated millions and millions of jobs for the Chinese.
Let me ask you
people.
something.
Yes.
Can we compete against the Chinese in terms of costs? Because the Chinese laborer gets the equivalent of 50 cents a month.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can, but we have to diverge our offerings in the market for agricultural products. Which we have.
Quid pro quo.
That's right.
Okay,
That's right.
okay.
And because of that offering of our world-class agricultural products, like for example our world-class mangoes, coconuts, and pineapples, etc., etc. Not to mention our embroidery products. That a long time ago, I guess we create cottage industries.
Yes, yes.
I mean, that would generate thousands of jobs for our countrymen.
Let me get 2-3 steps further.
Yes.
Because coconut and coconut products,
Yes.
if you just add more values into it,
Correct.
get into what we call value-added thing, you
Correct.
can even make perfumes out of coconut
Correct,
oil.
correct, correct,
You know,
correct.
all the way down the line.
Correct.
After 50 processes,
Yes.
you know, and that would be